Indiana Joan here. So the last 2 weeks we've been working hard on prepping this basement floor for concrete. We got a bid back from the contractor finally. Thank you for all of you that were praying for that. Problem was, it was sky high. It was way more than what we could afford. So what to do? We prayed, and the Lord has given us a ragtag team of 4 we're going to start tomorrow to try to pour this ourselves. We've got a pumper truck coming. We've got a concrete truck coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or both. And we're going to try to get this basement floor poured, and we're going to try to get the cap put in the garage floor. We got to move all the stuff out of the garage first to do that. But we're going to start down here. Kurt's been working hard. He's got it ready for the pour. It's 7:45 in the morning, and it's not light here yet. It stays dark pretty early in the morning, but you know what? We're pouring concrete. I don't know why my teeth are glowing. Anyway, we're pouring concrete. Kurt put lights down in the basement, temporary lights, got them all strung up so they'll be able to do it. And this is the week that we're gonna get that basement poured no matter what. A different type of pumper truck this time. It's not about how high you can go, it's about how low you can go. So this one uses kind of like a fire hose that is hooked up to the pump that takes it down to the basement. We're taking it down through our front porch where we don't have anything poured. Hopefully Saturday that porch will get poured and we won't have access to our basement from this side of the house anymore. are. We're pouring down in the basement. It's pretty exciting. We're a bunch of novices. Kurt says he's a novice, but he knows more what he's doing than others. But the guy on the pumper truck, he is being a great help and jumping in when we're in over our heads. So it's happening. Well, we're still pouring concrete. Today is day 3, and we're pouring Kurt's shop today. The guys are already there. They're already pouring. I'm running late. It's hard when it's this dark in the morning. It's 7 o'clock, a little after 7, and it's pitch black. There's no sign of sun, but we're heading over. Kurt's got those lights strung up, ready to go, and we're gonna get this baby poured. Well, I arrived here at Kurt's shop about 7:30. They've already got a good portion of this poured. We're trying this new gadget that we bought at a garage sale called the Power Screed. We had to do a lot of work to get it running, but it's running, and we've never seen one work before, and we're trying it out today. First trip to the emergency room at the hospital. My son got some concrete in his eye, scratched his eye. It looks pretty bad. There he is. He's
Maybe you can
gonna
see
live.
the blood in the eye right now. Maybe.
He's gonna live.
Yeah.
But
I will survive.
But he's got to have drops in his eye, and concrete. I hate it. Do you see this? Yeah, that's Kurt, but you know what he's standing on? Concrete floor all throughout the basement. Yeah, we're cheering. We didn't know we could get this done in 3 days, but hey, we did. And it's all hard enough that we're already ready to stack on wood, getting ready to put the walls on this concrete floor. Furnace guy can come back and put a furnace on this concrete floor. And his shop will not have anything on it other than the concrete. And Todd worked it so it's almost as smooth as glass. So pretty exciting to see what's finished in 3 days. Well, good morning. It's Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We poured in the basement. We got that basement done in 3 pours. We thought it would take 4, but it took 3 by God's grace. And trust me, Earl, the guy on the pumper truck, is worth his weight in gold. He was our 5th man in the crew, and he was an expert. Been working with concrete for 9 years, and he's only 25. He knows what he's doing. That's pretty cool. And so what we're doing now is we're cleaning out the garage and sorting some of the lumber. This trailer load is to take back to Menards. It's excess lumber that we won't be using. And we're getting that front porch ready to pour so that we'll have a concrete front porch as well. So that's what's going on today. Glad we've got Friday to do it. The pour is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, because none of the concrete companies could serve us today. They were already booked. So that works out. Gives us a day to do a project that we were hoping we'd get to do, but weren't sure. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it poured. This is exciting. Cleaning up the garage, and of course we were, recycling all those boards, nails all over the floor. There is an easy way to take care of this. I'm asking my son Mark, who's doing the main amount of moving of all this stuff, to help show how it's done with our magnetic pickup gadget. I don't know what they're called. Well, this might be pathetic, but I'm going to try to show you what tools you need in order to work with pouring concrete in your basement or your garage. I don't know if any of you are going to try it, but here we go. First of all, a lot of the equipment that is used for concrete is made of magnesium. And the reason they use magnesium is because whatever the components are in concrete, this magnesium pulls out what they call the cream. It pulls out the moisture out of the concrete to enable it to set better and to be smoother. So this is a hand trowel. You can buy them in just good old-fashioned wood or metal, but you really want the magnesium for that whole cream factor. Then you have this type of trowel. This we're going to use in our garage, which is called an edger. It basically, if you look at it, it's got a curve on it, and it makes a curved, rounded finish on the edge. Then you have this tool, which is a concrete puller. You saw the guys pushing and pulling with this to move the concrete. This takes a lot of strength. It may not look like that big of a deal, but it does. The other thing you gotta do is you gotta have rubber boots. We just bought these at the farm shop for $25. They're not real expensive, but if you hose them off, you can keep using them for the rest of your life, I think. Then the other thing that I'm getting to the bigger equipment over here is in order to pull the concrete across, we just used a 2x4. They make metal ones of these so that they're absolutely perfectly straight. We have one metal one that we picked up at an auction one time, but it only worked in one of the rooms because it was too short. You have to have your board the width of the concrete that you're pouring. So you have a narrow board. In our case, we had a narrow board on the wall, and then we had the brick on the walls that were already built that we put the board on that was already pre-cut to the width of the concrete and pull it across to make it even. Problem with wood is it's not always straight and true. So Kurt would look at the wood board like this and decide which edge we're going to use as our bottom edge as we pull. So we had to switch out that board as the concrete got narrower. It's called a screed is what that board is called. And we had that power screed that we tried to use in the basement shop, but you know what? It's above our pay grade. We did not have the skill to use it. We were so glad that Earl could use it, and it looked like it'd be an awesome tool if we could use it. The thing that we did as well that might be set up in this garage a little later, and I'll sub it in right here if it is we put up boards with nails on it to put a steel pipe on when you have a really long width and you couldn't possibly have a board long enough. You move this pipe along, and so you're sliding along the board on the wall and the steel pipe that is braced in the center with these two nails that just kind of hold it in place. Seems tenuous, but it seems to work. The other thing is, of course, this thing. Can you see it? It's called a bowl float, and it's long. I mean, it's like 3 feet, and it's got all additional pulls that you can keep making it longer and longer and longer. After you pour your concrete, you use that bowl float, which is made out of magnesium, to bring up the cream, to get it smooth to the point, and just keep bringing up that moisture so that the concrete will cure. Then, when it gets hard enough that you can walk on it, which doesn't take very long, I was really surprised, like an hour, you've got to start using this baby, the power trowel. I will do a close-up of this, but it's got blades on it that spin around like a ceiling fan, except that it flattens the concrete and makes it smooth all throughout. And then you just have to keep going back on, waiting like a half hour, going back on again, waiting a half hour, and you keep doing it. The more times you do it, and then you get to a point where you can see it's doing nothing. But Todd really went to town with this in the shop, and you can see that he made some extra effort because it really got to be super smooth and shiny surface. One, we were more novice on the first 2 pours in the basement and didn't know that. And 2, we're putting carpet over that. And tile, so what the concrete looks like, as long as it's level and it's smooth, we're good. We didn't need it to be shiny. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are the tools. You got it. You got a bowl float. You've got a hand trowel. You've got a screed, which is a board. And you've got a power screed if you're real fancy and know what you're doing, which we don't. And we'll have one for sale if you're looking for one. You know, message me. Then you've got a power trowel that is, I don't think you can do large things of concrete without a power trowel. You would have to do it all with your hand trowel on a board on the concrete. Nah. There you go. So they'll take this pipe, and as they pour, they'll slide it to the next sections in order to keep the exact same height in the middle of the floor as is what on the edges. Because on the edges, we've got boards to use all the way around. But in the middle, what are you going to use to maintain your height? You use that pole and those screws and those pieces of wood and slide it along. Indiana Joan here. Here we go. Saturday. Still dark. The truck came early. Our workers aren't all here. This is going to go fast because it's thinner, and it's only 2 inches thick instead of the 4 inches in the basement, and it's outside, so we've got a lot of air moving, and it's raining today, but just a real light rain. So I'm going to set up my camera. I've got to babysit grandkids, so my son-in-law can continue to work here in theory, and we'll see how this all goes. Indiana Joan here. It's the end of the week, and we got it done. We've got a front porch, we've got a garage, we've got a full basement floor, and it's all poured. The porch is all done. We swept it to give it a little bit of a roughness so that it won't be slippery. And in the garage, Kurt and Todd are still working on it with the power trowel. They said it's kind of tricky because it's wet in some spots and dry in others, and that's just the nature of doing a thinner concrete. But it's getting done, and I'm pretty excited. This is, to me, like a legitimate miracle that God put this together. We had a crew for 3 days that consisted of Todd, who came from Florida, our son Mark, who came from Virginia, and my husband and Tony, somebody we just met here in Indiana, and what a great guy. And then today we had my son-in-law, because my son I had to take to the airport, and we had our new friend Nathan, who has worked with concrete in Nebraska. Not his favorite thing, but he came anyway. And Todd's still here, and Kurt, and we got it done. But I would be remiss to not tell you about Earl. Earl, the guy with the hose that owns the pumper truck, he was awesome. 25 years old. He's been doing it for 9 years. He has his own company with 3 trucks. He jumped right in there and helped when we were over our heads. He said, I'll make sure you get it done. And he did. Yay for Earl. We'll see what happens next week, but I'm happy for what we've achieved this week with the good Lord's help.